So right now, definitely my looking to realization is that list of Gloria because later but Gloria probably in the year and Gloria without later and Vegeta were basically let's tell Vegeta and Goku and all of them that like let's just focus on just let we are so close to that Goma's palace like let's just focus on like getting straight away heading into the palace of Goma and then bring the palace of Goma and straight away like getting back that day. Like this would be the pertaining what will be precisely L'Oreal would be telling like the decision the thing that so many people around L'Oreal, the Goku, that Neva and the remaining fighters, all of them being present right there with like L'Oreal. Still able to bring L'Oreal once again the trailer trying to play the role of like the leader and then being like L'Oreal that would be like taking the decision and all of the others like only following totally blindly trusting Gloria and following Gloria's decision. And with that, like they were then all trying to like enter and integrate into like Gomah's pattern, certainly not into them. So like I'm considering like the precise reason for Gloria even saying that and taking such a decision instead of like heading for like the Tamagami to basically fight the Tamagami and get the triangle. Because then obviously because of like Gloria vegetarian version of public representation for Gloria even taking such a decision will be even more than like basically Goku and Loro taking Goku and True to like the Tamagami one of it, the thing world and Goku and True finding out about someone was having like defeated and taken the triangle that the Tamagami one like even more than that like what totally would like the highest priority of L'Oreal right now would be since like L'Oreal totally physically alive to Arun would be and since like Arun would be currently present precisely within like Goma's palace and since like Arun has like one of the rival it will be like an extreme high priority for L'Oreal right now to meet up with like Arun as soon as possible and escape from like the fighters by stealing like two of the Dragon Balls and my legendary impressions that things from the Lord point of view, Lord get only thinking of the nine senses, the second Dragon Ball, since like one Dragon Ball, among the two Dragon Balls are going to be fight is one Dragon Ball about in that Lord is present. And like the second Dragon Ball is only in like the position of I think height is like basically even from Lord's point of view, Lord will only think that stealing the Dragon Ball from height will be like such an easy task. But still Glorio would be like totally thinking along the lines of to like ensure that he's able to do that with as much with either with stealth or like with like in while potentially doing glory when executing that stealing some fighters signal Dragon Balls exactly while the remaining three fighters are in like a distracted like situation like or like a busy like or like an occupied like situation where they won't be able to like come out like glory. This would be like glory and Arthur's plans with the brain. So like definitely my personal memory is that like right now according to Gloria's and Arjun's like secret plan totally Gloria right now would be totally expecting as like if like the Zepetus right now keeps marching forward in trying to like enter into like Goma's palace real soon basically like the ultimate god like the supreme demon king like basically that Gendarmerie special force so basically Gloria will be well and fully aware that the moment they will be marching forward, like especially the Gendarmerie Special Force will be showing up and basically a whole fight between like the five member Gendarmerie Special Force but like the key fighters will be happening and Glorio would have by now Glorio would have only access the powers of like all the entire the fighters through the fling of the Gendarmerie and Glorio might have only figured that it's currently like the ones that will be able to like hold their own against like the Gendarmerie Special Force will be only Goku, Vegeta and Piccolo. Even L'Oreal from other fiction strength like L'Oreal would be like well and by now would be fully aware that even Singh would be having a hard time fighting in a one versus one fight against like the Mariko. So it was would be one thing that L'Oreal will well fully aware of by now. It's definitely my personal and especially because of this L'Oreal would be well and fully totally planning to like totally take advantage of such a situation where like the V fighters would be like totally and even with like King and his entire army, still even they would have to like only struggle against like the might of like the Gendarmerie, which was only one Glorio with the thing. So like Glorio was only getting on like the Gendarmerie special force like showing up and attacking like the team fighters to be like that ultimate opportunity for like Glorio to like make his escape and like meet up with like Arinzu and then but also like my percentage information is that like the actual pro might and pro strength of like the actual strength of the Gendarmerie special force would be only like possible once only when they work as like they are together as the five members get up or work team. It's definitely matters into energy. Individually, the Gandhar Marine Fit Force might not be that, might not be able to like, might not be that extremely strong. It's definitely matters into energy. And this might be the thought reason for like Gomah, even after becoming the supreme demon king, even after like getting all this time, like Gomah still not being able to like get use like the this would be the sort reason for Gomah not being able to like use the Gandamar special force to like defeat like the Tamagami, any of the Tamagami will be precisely because of this reason that like individually the Gandamar special force members won't be that exceptionally strong. It would be only as like when they work as like a team, the finding the pain that they will be so exceptionally for the double effective and legendary emerson. So basically connecting all this like Glory will be only thing that basically once like second armor is was be showing up and attacking like the sea fighters. Like at that point, like precisely Glorio would be totally able to like, quickly feel Hydras like but the sea fighters at that point would be totally and totally busy and occupied with the fight against the Gandamar. So that basically at that point like Glorio would be easily able to like quickly steal like the Dragon Ball from like the weak Hydras and basically just the two Dragon Balls like Glorio would be quickly able to like meet up with like Armsos and they would be totally able to like make their escape will be what Glorio would be totally currently planning and personally only protect that precisely right and definitely even Dende still would be like under like the kind of like a surveillance of like Gomah. Definitely my personal remember. So maybe like Haruto might not still not won't have like the courage to like basically stealthily try to like abduct Dende. It's definitely my personal remember. Even though like currently Lorio and Armcho's like ultimate goal would be like to precisely use to get Dende specific object and those later on referring to like the instant like the strategy that Glorio and Aranzo would be like using would be most likely like stealing all three Tamagami triangles and using the three Tamagami triangles for them to like get to a faraway location in like the opinion world and hide there and using like the three Tamagami triangles for them to like precisely with like the absolute self for them to like precisely push for before then they and basically that case of will like find your game that they would be like their plan with the game of the and even according to like Aransu and Glorious like secret plan like especially after Ganar notification was only attacking the Z fighters like even while Gloria would be they don't something Gloria definitely like ditching like the Z fighters and save and getting away with like betraying the Z fighters and stealing like the their two Dragon Balls and basically and getting away and meeting up with like trying to meet up with like others, but like especially right now was different like that one member of the Marine Security Force to like precisely who would be really targeting and fighting off against Glorio until that point will be constantly chasing after Glorio. So like especially at this point I'm totally saying according to like Arunsu as well as Glorio's like secret plan like precisely Arunsu like precisely like Margin 2 and Margin 2 like their presence would be totally coming according to plan. That would also be totally according to plan. So if you have like second armor in the possibly like chasing after glory and then are so totally commanding like the margin two and margin two to like take care of that single second armor in the single force member. So like since it will be just a single member, like he will be like easily forward by like margin two and margin two and basically so like that's like the scenario as well that I'm not only for things to happen and that way like along with like that single member of like the government which was basically being offered and defeated by like the team of Margin Do and Margin Two are like just by the power of like Margin Two and like Margin Two and Margin Two along with like precisely Aramsu as well as Glorio making their escape and getting away with like all three Dragon Balls coming up with rivals and like them like making their escape and going off to like some direction in like some distant locations in like the Pokemon World is like the scenario that I'm looking for. And as for like the Z fighters, I'm going to bring them to totally have a serious hard time. Like and they totally still thinking about the that Luke and Vegeta will be forced to like basically turn into like their Super Saiyan form. Not for them to like eventually be able to like bring down like the gender special process like the scenario that I'm literally putting. So like Goku as well as Vegeta turning into like fighting in their Super Saiyan form and like the use of Piccolo as well giving to everything and they really Shin along with like Hinkadan and his like army totally struggling their way to like eventually finally somehow being able to like or for and defeat like the gender special process like the scenario that I was totally putting. But like by then like they're only protecting like what they would be having the first person they would be having to like face off against would be precisely probably at that point, like by then, like they would be like the FIFA it would be only exhausted. But like right then, when was really preparing for the ultimate entrance of like grand entrance of like biggest while posting like the power of the third eye. It's just my person very much because I'm specifically my person very much so that like the princess cute girl that basically got like the third eye from precisely Ibis would be precisely Degesu using his like shape shifting abilities to just name it and I'm also trying it would be either that shape shifting ability or like strength or like power, unique magical power would be something either Goma might have taught and trained Degesu or like I'm just preferring it would be like an ability all the links might possess it, which isn't like even Shin was able to like has also really revealed to have like ability and powers to basically transform like temporarily transform like Goku's ears and turn it into pointy. So like I'm just preferring Shin might be also be able to like have like that link all the links might have that power, shape shifting power to like transform their ability. Definitely my opinion direction. Maybe that way it would be how like but like the opportunity of how like basically they get some idea like took the disguise of that to girl and got like some right from like this definitely my person very much. So like I'm just different just thinking my person very much that like by the time like the fighters will be offering and finally defeating like the kind of horrific force like at that point like they will be totally thinking like now it's only Goma left but like at that point is when I'm the like Degesu like the whole twist happening with like Degesu showing up with like focusing the power of the third eye. And at that point, like because so when like the power of the third eye will be thrown too much for like the Z fighters and basically the Z fighters as well being forced to like next year escape and basically hiding at some other location in like the supplement world is like the scenario that I'm looking at only for the and going into hiding like them totally trying to like brainstorm and basically find out a way to like certainly get 10 day back and all that. It's definitely my opinion. Yes, so like definitely no particular end of the red no as for like seriously speaking of like the radio and like the action from Soma. That would be the only part of the guess is like ultimate betrayal of Soma is definitely not in the end of the because like of the Goma even had sent the guess to like really get back like the like front side this and probably the only thing what the guess might have done might have been the guess might have perfectly picked up the right from precisely like it might have been probably that cube girl might have to like got the third eye from a hybrid might have been precisely together. It is like transform and shape shift form. So they might have been and so DSO might have gotten like the third eye and DSO might have secretly hidden like the third eye in the pocket. And then so they're only telling DSO might not only return back to Goma and might not only lie to Goma about like him not being able to like but like basically during that fourth chaos like the third eye got destroyed or something along the lines like I was thinking maybe like because you might have died and convinced Goma. So like right now those are the impressions that like in the also like as for like the power levels between Goma and Degesu but we're only Goma might have been like the strongest, definitely been like the strongest in like the Demon Realm. Then back in the Dora was like the King, Supreme Demon King of the Demon Realm, like Goma might have been. And back when like during then when Goma was like the Supreme Vice Supreme Demon King, like it was also due to like Goma being like the second strongest after Gadora. So like I'm considering when Goma will be still having all that power and maybe like by now might have gained even more in strength and abilities and skills is also definitely not the range. But when comparing to like Goma's strength with like Degesu, might have the emergence that like there will be like an extreme power gap between like the powers of Goma and Degesu because it will be like a lot weaker than Goma. It's definitely not the range. And this might be the process basis for like Goma in back on earth like basically Goma when Goma had wished to like and turned made when back on earth like when Goma had made his wish and basically turned like the V fighter tiny like basically at that point like that explains disappointment in Goma on realizing that Goma can't have wasn't able to like, guess his wish for like the third eye because of this that basically Goma might totally be well aware of his strength that basically he will have that at the conference of maybe or something of thing and that basically by possessing like the third eye, like he wouldn't even have to like turn like the Z fighters tiny at all. Like he would by just solely by possessing like the power of the third eye, Goma will be able to like take out all the Z fighters, even if the Z fighters are in like the original form. will be what that confidence of Gomah will be having, especially as a injury person. So hence why Goma, that's the third eye being even bigger priority for Goma than even turning the city by the spine. It's definitely even back then it's definitely not looking very interesting. But in the case of like Degesu, it will totally different. Like but they thought about in the case of Degesu, like Degesu currently even by Degesu would be having like the third eye item in his like position like basically Degesu might definitely genuinely not believe that basically he also might be fully aware of the extreme that he is like totally extremely weak in strength and power level when even compared to like Goma. So like Stigas would be totally thinking on the lines as of like even if he possesses like the power of like the third eye, still Stigas won't be strong enough to like bring down like the then like the army of the fighters even in their tiny forms would be along the line because you might be thinking it's definitely my person to reimbursement. So like adopting and players would be also like totally thinking along the lines of like even the end armoring special form shouldn't even stand a chance against like the fighters fight. Would be also what the case with the thing and in the case of Goma would be mostly make placing a lot of like faith in like the strength of like second armor which also them being able to like stop the fighters. It's also definitely my personal favorite. So like I'm also putting right now as for like Degesu, most likely seeing as in like Degesu stealth. Uh, so like definitely my personal instruction right now as for like Degesu like stealthily like picking up Dende in like Goma as it would be crazy part of Degesu's betrayal where Degesu would be like especially trying to like stealthily make his escape with like Dende and like the right from like Gomah's palace by the time like the fighters will be making it to Gomah's palace and like Degesu will be currently like totally according to Degesu's plan like Degesu will be totally trying to like put both Gomah as well as the Gendarmerie which is both as bait for like the sea fighters so that like so that like Degesu will totally with like that still so that like Degesu will totally make his escape with like the right and then they expect no good thing because would be also fully aware that basically this time once like if like because once like because eventually would be able to like because would be wanting hoping that he would be eventually be able to like make then they like create like the seven dragon balls and at that point because would be totally thinking that since this since like Degesu had totally since back when Roma made the wish with like Dende back on Earth, like Degesu as well was present for like this. And the next time Degesu would be left only using Dende to like create the Dragon Balls and when like the dragon will be showing up since like Degesu would only think that since at that point it would be Degesu's second time like summoning the dragon like Degesu would be only expecting that basically at that point, like Degesu will definitely be getting like two wishes. So like currently Degesu's plan would be that precisely to and among those two wishes, like Degesu's plan would be to like precisely make this one wish to like precisely remove like the immortality or like the Supreme Kai title of like most likely the immortality of like Shin, which Shin might have totally gained on the moment he might have been like the recent past event, like Shin might have been appointed as like the supreme Kai of the universe and definitely my person to remember. So like this entire time like since then like Degesu might have been extremely jealous and might have probably wanted to remove that from uh, Shin. Is definitely my person to remember. Or like the other person is basically maybe since I'm probably predicting maybe Degesu's plan might be to like wish for like immortality. That might be like Degesu's like what with like to for him to like attain immortality. So that might be like Degesu's plan of like making his first wish to like the dragon, and Degesu's second wish might be I'm probably totally predicting since like according to my person theory, I'm personally totally predicting Degesu that even after like the other things like the third eye because by now technically would be having like the third eye in his deck position, but like my personal impressions are like two I'm possibly for like two possibilities. Like either DSO might have the third eye item might be currently hidden in like DSO's pocket. DSO might have hidden it in his pocket, or like DSO might have already used like the third eye, but like DSO might be like totally keeping his like eyes and that third eye might have totally been that eye might have only formed in like the Gesu's pocket, but like what the Gesu might have done might have been that to maintain that strength. Like the Gesu might be like always keeping that third eye always closed right now in like the while like the process of Goma and everything. But certainly my person to everything. So anyway, like Degesu Degesu's second wish that Degesu would be totally eventually planning on like making with like Dende like that second wish would be precisely most likely to control like the Giga for Degesu to be able to like to gain the power to be able to like control the Giga. This would be more this would be most likely the second wish that Degesu would be totally planning on making, so that like at that point, like Degesu would be totally think that he could at that point he would definitely be like the next supreme demon king, and absolutely no one will be able to like stop him because like, then he would have like that absolute control over like the Gigas, like the strong demons or like beings in like the currently in like the entire demon realm. So this would be like Degesu's plan, and this would be the precise reason for like a right now, but the only and Degesu would be most likely trying to like escape Dende and the third eye from like Gomah. That crystal would be what Degesu would be right now trying to attempt. Definitely my percentage ambition. Also, definitely my percentage ambitions were like I'm still sticking to my percentage ambitions that like in the case of like Dende, definitely since it's already revealed that basically even though the Vitus was turned into a tiny also like definitely my percentage impression that I'm thinking on to that like there's reason to also million reason that like even though like the fighters were turned young like still their minds haven't turned young. It's just their bodies that have turned young, but like their minds still haven't turned young. I'm just different perception because of this reason. I'm just different previous the very same thing with like the baby and they as well. It's definitely my percentage impression. Like by now like the baby and they might have reached like might have aged enough to be able to like speak and form words and speak, especially my personal understanding. But like so, right now, like even as like Degesu right now tries to like carry and pick up like Dende, like basically Dende like totally crying and everything to be totally like most likely a fake act done by Dende to totally like trick Degesu as well as like Gomah as well. Like Dende might have tricked Gomah as well into thinking that basically Dende still haven't aged enough to be able to speak when actually like Gomah might have then they haven't aged enough to like speak to be able to speak when in actuality then they might have definitely be right now be would be totally able to like speak and this would be or a fake act of like a trick tragical trick that then they would be totally playing on both the so as well as Gomah and tricking them. It's definitely my personal favorite. So like I'm just eventually after the entire chaos, like eventually finally once like the V fighters would be like getting back then they like the way we can then they like at that point I'm just then they like totally straight away like talking to like the V fighters absolutely in an absolutely normal manner. Exactly like as to like how like the old men they used to speak. It's definitely my person to remember that. Even though like then this thing would be a baby, it's definitely the scenario that end of the thing. And that being like that absolute shock for like the fight end up eventually fighters that they would only at that point like finding that out and realizing that basically the entire time Sunday was able to like talk. But like then they was totally putting on the fake act and only factories all of them, including like Gomah as well as like Degesu. And this was like then that's like ultimate strategy in the plan. It's like this is like this final kind of like a twist is definitely one thing about the only thing and that was very understand. So let's say like definitely I'm still thinking in my person to embarrassing right now with like the Gandharma reflection post like really showing up and doing that process like straight away I'm just deferring that goal. Especially was when Vegeta straight away getting deja vu like connecting to like the new post like the scenario that I'm developing right now. It was like definitely my person to embarrassing right now with like second armor reflection post like the five number but like them having like each like done their absolute focus with like absolute satisfaction and that I'm about to the cameraman Facebook will be taking that much absolute pride in like their poses. Like they will be probably seeing their poses as like absolutely unique and super cool and all that. Certainly also my personal relation. But like I'm just different like even after doing all that poses, like I'm just the scenario that I'm just different is for like the Goku as well as like the remaining fighters totally eating and basically the only thing I'm just really putting Goku to please I'm so really putting at that point just Goku to like respond back by especially asking like the Gandharma Rinpoche was as if like they are fans of like the Guinea Force and my person theory and is that like even though like the Gandharma Rinpoche would have never even heard of like the Guinea Force like still my person theory is that that question of Goku if they are fans of like the Guinea Force and they only should only get like the captain as well as the remaining Gandharma five special so members like to get all of that person of those who getting all of them extremely insecure is definitely my personal reason because like they will be like totally like the way they will be viewing their process and everything will be as if like it's like totally brand new that basically that absolutely no one would have ever seen and basically like they would be like each and every single time like they would be facing off against a villain they would be doing this process that absolute pride and satisfaction as if to like shock and surprise like the enemy definitely my personal favorite but like on top of like I'm considering like the scenario is like on top of like the Z fighters like the Z fighters the Z fighters go like only being on the first like basically just like go to most likely even asking them if they are like fans of like the game because like that would be totally give, giving that feeling to like that Glenarvan switch was that like these people have already seen like a process similar to ours so basically that would be like an extreme extremely like a huge hit to like their massive ego as like connecting to like their gendarmerie force, special force forces is definitely the scenario that ended the only thing and my cousin did okay, so like definitely my topic very interesting right now as well. Like both Goku and Piccolo like heading sideways and letting like Vegeta and Volta himself take care of like the Gundam and switch for example, bring with what they have to do with like even Goku letting Vegeta take care of the Gundam, not even interested in like fighting like the Gundam or switch was which only have to do with like the initial impression of like the Gundam or switch was on like Goku with Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo, like seeing that like they are extremely weak, it's definitely not a good image. But like I'm also totally bring that initial first impression to totally be wrong. Definitely not good image. Definitely I'm also bring straight away Vegeta as like Vegeta would go walking up to like the end of the quick. So I'm going to bring straight away like Vegeta single handedly only easily correcting like the end of the quick. Was definitely not considered. But like I'm bring but still I'm considering like the environment which was to only be persistent and I'm considering eventually like them pulling out their secret ultimate weapon like strategy and they would be totally hiding a lot of power within this definitely which only I'm considering for them to only reveal as like the fight as like the fight progresses like I'm considering to only eventually that they will be pulling out like an armor special force will be pulling out all of their true powers and true secret weapon and everything like the scenario that I was different. So like simply because of this reason, my personal impression certainly that like the initial impression of Goku, Vegeta as well as Piccolo about like the gender not reflecting Goku will be like totally wrong. It's definitely my personal impression. Because like definitely my personal impression right now that like those concepts potato chips that basically go to innocently accessed from like the I think like from like the leader of the gender not reflecting so definitely would be having like chosen and it is definitely my personal impression. That would be like that ultimate final strategy after being defeated and being tied up by the sea fighters, like that would be like the final strategy that like the Kendra Marine Special Force like they might have only used to like especially at least for them to be able to like do something at least something against like the sea fighters. It's definitely my best. So like I'm considering Goku only most likely getting poisoned after eating sex that for the churches definitely the scenario that I'm considering. And that way like Goku totally being in like a tough spot and Goku totally temporarily totally being unable to like that that's all. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. So like it is so like you know the name of the interesting right now like Goku and like the key fighters entering Gomah palace like I'm considering only something like then straight away seeing Gomah and like Gomah totally and absolutely being shocked and they are on seeing like the key fighters and then that's the thing so that they would be like seeing Goma itself, like in the right and itself, and those like totally putting the effects of like the most likely the poison existing in that potato chips that they take like basically totally taking its effect and basically go to totally feeling unwell precisely right then. It's like the scenario that I'm going to something and right then I'm also putting Vegeta totally more confidently like seeing how Goma is like extremely scared, like Vegeta would be totally underestimating Goma and Goma's like absolute trickery ways of like fighting and everything. It's definitely not going to relationship. Like Vegeta totally underestimating Goma and basically Vegeta totally more confidently thinking that this would be like a piece of cake, like defeating Goma would be like a piece of cake. And right then I was putting Goma totally being extremely scared and like Goma was different totally calling out for Degesu, but like precisely right then like Degesu might have already left like totally betrayed Goma might have already by then like might have already escaped from Goma's palace with like by abducting Dende as well as like taking the third eye as well. Because because they might have totally escaped and left like Goma's palace and that way might have only betrayed Goma's by then. Especially my cousin Daima. So like I'm looking Goma on seeing the movie fighter straight away shout even though we extremely scared I'm considering Goma only shouting at them that he won't, that Gomah won't never let them have Dende. And basically, Gomah calling out for Degesu and repeatedly, and like Gomah realizing that Degesu has totally betrayed Gomah, and like Gomah will be totally scared and extremely embrace that Degesu. And about the prank still like basically with like no the extremely embrace Gomah, feeling that he has like lost everything at that point, like about the prank. Even though scared like Gomah and the prank right then like deciding to like taking out all his anger on like the sea fighter. So like at that point, like Pacific Goku, because of the effects of exploit and after the different Goku only being unable to fight and Goku straight away get sidelined. So like I'm the different like Vegeta straight away deciding to like take the spotlight and by defeating that ultimate villain Gomah as like scenario that I was doing. So like as like the whole Vegeta versus Gomah fight beginning and like Vegeta would be like initially straight away like would be totally it might appear as like Vegeta would be and totally for it to appear as like Vegeta totally getting the upper hand against Gomah. And Vegeta would be definitely stronger when it comes to like straightforward fighting like this. Vegeta would be having like more definitely will be having more power levels that Gomah, but like Gomah would be having like absolute trickery ways of like fighting through his lefty. Like so which like eventually Gomah would be totally offering and defeating Vegeta like the scenario that I'm just only playing. And those little precisely have like the busy fight between like Gomah versus Vegeta would be happening and precisely protecting for like especially Glorio and just like Goku being sidelined with like the whole typical sort of like the point like Glorio totally feeling that this would be like the best opportunity and the best chance to like make them with trial on like the Z fighters and attack and Glorio right and like basically attacking Hyper to all of a sudden while the Vegeta busy fighting against Gomah will be taking place in Goma's palace like Glorio all of a sudden like totally betraying the Z fighters and basically attacking Hyper and quickly stealing Hyper like Dragon Ball and basically Glorio with those two Dragon Balls like quickly escaping from like the palace and quickly straight away like Aransu as well showing up and basically like Gloria along with like Aransu like quickly getting on a spaceship that will be totally parked outside like right outside like Thomas Palace and then totally escaping like Gloria as well as like Aransu escaping with like the three Dragon Ball with like the scenarios that I'm they're only bring three Tamagami Dragon Ball with like the scenario that I'm doing. So like precisely like the very moment that Gloria would be making his betrayal and attacking Hybris to like steal Hybris' Dragon Ball, so the Dragon Ball in like Hybris position like at that point itself I'm also putting the Reaper just totally being the Reaper just totally being shocked at that situation and I'm considering that totally even distracting Vegeta for a brief moment like especially when Glory will be attacking heights and stealing heights with like Dragon Ball like especially right then till like Vegeta being like still totally being distracted and that short distracted moment would be like more than enough for Gomah to like probably be able to like get the upper hand against Vegeta. So like so that opening that will be getting created at that point like I was for Gomah totally like using like a unique kind of magic totally like trapping Vegeta and totally falling and defeating Vegeta and trapping Vegeta set the scenario that I'm losing totally perfect. And with like with like Glorio betraying them and the fighters and like escaping with like Aransu and like the three Tamagami Dragon Balls and Vegeta totally defeated by Gomah. Like I'm going to bring the entire flicker and with like Goku sidelined as well and totally being unable to fight due to like the effects of the poison. Like I'm going to bring like the entire fighters the fighters who like their entire expectation would be and hope would be totally on Piccolo to stop Gomah. So like at that point definitely, like, and definitely my person mentioned that Gomah's current power level would be like more than Piccolo's power level, current power level. It's definitely my person like even in like a one versus one straight world one fight, like Gomah will be currently stronger than Piccolo. It's definitely my person Will be stronger than Piccolo, but weaker than Goku and Vegeta. Definitely my person So like in like the whole Piccolo Gomah fight, like I'm considering Gomah without much struggle, like totally offering and defeating and trapping Piccolo next. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. Then it would be like just Shin as well as like the remaining King Garden and his like army alone that will be like left to like bring down Gomah. So like at that point I'm also putting Gomah like easily totally offering all of them and basically like wrapping all of them and I'm also putting Gomah totally imprisoning all of them under Gomah's palace or like right next to somewhere in like Gomah's palace I'm also putting like Gomah totally imprisoning like the entire different fighters including Goku as well it's like the scenario that I'm going to bring. And Goma straight away, like walking out of Goma's palace, like being extremely enraged at precisely Degesu, as for like Degesu's betrayal. totally unexpected betrayal of like Gomah. And basically Goma would be like so like at that point Goma would be like totally thinking that basically so Degesu might have also lied about like him like the third eye being getting destroyed in the chaos and basically so like Goma would be totally expecting like Degesu to like not only have Tenden but like but the third eye as well just like Degesu. So like I'm the super an extremely enraged Goma like precisely which is like one and only main target like precise target at that moment being precisely Degesu like to precisely find and destroy Degesu and get back like the Dende and the third eye like Goma basically is an angry Goma basically heading off from his like Paris. So, like scenario that I'm referring, but like a writer like Goma would be stepping out of the battle, he would be like totally seeing like the gendarmerie was like totally defeated and sidelined, but still those differing like the captain of the gendarmerie which was like totally telling Soma what he did that basically through the potatoes it's like him probably having like poison Goku and since like that totally helped Goma out like I'm Goma deciding to like remove to free like the gendarmerie special force from their side of state and bring Goma totally assigning like the gendarmerie special force as for like the guard duty to like not the guard duty to like watch over like the in person the fighter in like Goma's palace. So like the gendarmerie special force like doing watching over like and like ensuring that like trying to ensure that the fighters doesn't escape from like the their imprisoned state in like the Goma's palace, while Goma would be like setting off on his own precisely chasing after like precisely Degesu. It's like to totally get his Goma's revenge on Degesu. It's like the scenario that I'm considering only, but where Degesu would be like flying and maybe like Degesu would be like using a spaceship and like might have only gotten away using a spaceship as well. Gomah status as well. It's definitely also like about the Daima season. So because will be like quickly flying away with such like spaceship on one direction while having Dende as well while having like the veteran Dende as well as like the third eye in his possession. To eventually Degesu only hoping to like eventually keep hiding until like Dende grows up to the point that Dende would be able to like speak so that like Degesu using Dende would be able to like most likely control like the Gigas and that way like Degesu would be able to like replace Goma and be like the next supreme demon would be like Degesu's plan is definitely method to develop. And Goma heading in like one direction, like chasing up and looking something and something and looking to hoping to like find Degesu as well as like Aransu as well as Glorio like flying off in their spaceship in like another direction with like the three Tamagami rivals to like eventually make their wish and like wish for especially Dende. It's like the scenario that I'm considering. So like definitely I'm considering like Dende would be lost from eventually would be totally lost from the Gesu possession to Arinso and Glorious possession precisely once they would be like making the wish using like the Tamagami rival like the scenario that I'm personally totally putting in my personal impression. And as for Neva, I'm considering either like Degesu like threatening Neva and quickly being able to like abduct Neva. That's like considering the scenario that like Degesu and Arantu actually believing that basically Neva's words that actually like a password exactly like the Dragon Balls of like Namek, like a password actually being required for like the Kamigami Dragon Balls to work if like Arantu and Degesu actually believes that then I'm also preferring like then most likely by the time they will be like trying to see fighters and getting away, they will be like also threatening to take the life of Neva and quickly would be like even abducting Neva as well and taking Neva as well along with them. That's like one possibility that I'm considered on the birthday. And like the and like their plan would be to like and like consider on the birthday. If that's not the case, then I'm considering it will be just Arms and Glory. I don't. That would be like if they like wouldn't even be like trusting or believing in like Neva's like words of like a password being required to activate like the Kamigami Prime mode. Then I'm considering it will be just Glory and Arms alone. That would be like after stealing all three Kamigami Prime balls would be like betraying the Z fighters and like escaping from like the Gomah in between like the Vegeta versus Goma fighters, like the scenario that I was the only particular and the memorization. And my personal theory on this were like according to my personal theory, like at that point I was different as for like the in-person the fighters like still like most likely would be in like Goma's parents when they would be in person and would be like watched over by potentially like the gendarmerie special program was different like most likely like it being like most likely Bulma that will be like intelligent to like and perfectly eventually tricking like the gendarmerie special process into like basically that way like the fighters like making their escape from like their imprisoned state in like Gomah's palace, and then like delivering like the fighters then like basically, and that would be like happening after a long time, 15 months of the time. So once they would be like get free, once like the fighters would be escaping under the ring, like them totally deciding to like precisely target precisely Glorio, precisely they will be heading precisely at that point out of that Gomah band, precisely with a common goal to like precisely find Glorio, find and stop Glorio before like Glorio will be able to like make this like with using like the Sri Ramagami triangle, so that like the He fighters will be like touching like heading out of Gomah's palace like with the common goal to like precisely find Glorio and get back like the Tamagami Dragon Ball, and that way to like make their wish to like basically turn them back to like their normal state. Like with this goal in their with this goal, like I was bring like the fighters will be like escaping, and like I was bring there being like hopefully being like one more spaceship being present in like Adoma's palace, which like which I'm just bring like the fighters will be possibly taking to like head out and basically to search for like Glory. It's like the scenario, it's a scenario that I'm also only cutting and not very interesting. Okay, so like definitely not also very interesting right now, but like the percent girl that got like the third eye from height is not being big, so like I'm just totally cutting. So what might have happened might have been like maybe like Goma might have been like hoping for like that first girl that Degesu had sent to like collect like the third eye to suddenly show up with like the third eye before like the V fighters will be making it into like the Goma palette. Might have been what like Goma might have been like only hoping for the family members of the victim, but like I'm going with like and Goma might have been watching like might be watching like the entire fight of like the V fighters, even like their fight against like the fighters like every time and so catching so easily repeating like the normal experience because like all the like Gandar especially Goma might have potentially obviously watched through his like match monster is also like name of the so like I'm just saying even Degesu like potentially picking Dende up might have been potentially like Goma's like last uh final last strategy that like Goma might have used like Goma and Degesu at that point might have definitely felt that basically with like the Z-Fighter, so usually even repeating like their armor inside the course, and that way absolutely no one even standing in like the no obstacle at all, standing in like the path of like the Z-Fighters in like walking up straight towards like Goma. At that point, like Goma might not only be extremely scared, and like Goma, this might be like the last strategy that Goma might be currently using. Would be to, Goma might have possibly to order like the guess to like quickly go get like then they so that like to pretend like to be fighters like taking Dende's life if like they even try to like attack Goma or like even like they if they even come any closer like that would be like the last strategy of like Goma and Goma might have totally lost hope at basically or maybe that would be like Goma's strategy to like buy enough time until because like Goma might have through like the magic monster might have also seen like the maybe that girl of like Dolphins moment of of the year, so like suddenly getting like the right from Hybris. So I might have also seen that through the match monitor. Match monitors also definitely not of the so like all Goma would be right now would be needing would be to like fight enough time until like she would be able to like make it back and basically deliver that third eye to like Goma. So like I'm totally putting and my secondary impression as for like Degesu himself not heading out to basically get the third eye would be solely and totally due to like Degesu being extremely afraid of for his own life because like Degesu would be totally like fearing like the origin strength of like being as well as Goku, especially with the brain version. So like especially because of this reason like Degesu might have definitely not gone out himself to like get the third eye quickly himself, especially my really do like fear, especially my person. And maybe like it might also have to do with like Goma as well, totally wanting that the guest to like not head up super safely to totally get like the third eye, especially because like since like the guest was like Goma like a right hand Goma even sees the guest who has like ultimate stable like a right hand man like terms of preparing like Goma would only be even feeling safe whenever he has like the guest by his side. It's also definitely one of the Rambles. So like this might also be a factor in like especially Degesu sending that girl to like get like collect that get that potentially get and bring that possess. third eye from height. So definitely my percentage emerson. So definitely right now Goma would be totally like Goma's strategy would be to like totally buy time enough time until that girl brings like the third eye. So like I'm just deprecating and Goma will be totally and absolutely fully confident that like if Goma is able to like possess the power of the third eye, Goma will be surely able to like walk around and defeat and destroy like the heat battle. There will be that absolute confidence in or like our confidence in Goma, especially also my position emotion. So like I'm preparing precisely Goma might have precisely ordered like Degesu to like get Dende and bring Dende to Goma so that Goma could like threaten to the fighters with like taking Dende's like and that way by time. Definitely my position so like my position is that like what might have happened would be like Degesu precisely as like Degesu according to followed or Goma's orders and went to like suddenly get Dende. At that point like I'm preparing Degesu might have only had like a change in his mind because like Degesu might be like totally not at all that much like trusting in like Goma the power gain that Goma would be getting even with like probably with the power with the right. Because would might have that absolute like lack of trust in Goma that even with like the power of like the right Goma even being able to like stop into the just would be like there would be that doubt lying in like the case. So like maybe my percentage is that like Degesu might have only or like Degesu might have only seen that as like his opportunity to like only betray and take advantage of like Goma. Exactly like how Goma might have only betray might have been like back when Goma was like into like cockroach form while appearing to like work alongside Dabora. So Goma might have been like in it even while like according to like Dabora's like plan like Goma had gotten like stolen like the third eye back then Goma might have been totally, even by doing that, Goma might have been like deep down totally planning on totally eventually betraying like Deborah to precisely use like the third eye for Goma himself and for the power of like for Goma himself to for the power of the third eye and basically kick for him to like kick Deborah out and basically roll over as like supreme meetings might have been even Goma's plan even back then it's definitely not something so like I'm about to bring that versus career repeating of likely possibly right now maybe repeating again with like DSO right now as Goma basically instead of the third eye like Goma basically uh, in a way like Goma like assigning DSO to like collect the third eye for which like hence Goma and basically Goma also assigning DSO to like get Dente and then was separating like maybe like right now was separating two possibilities like either like especially Degesu might be like steadily planning on like escaping, betraying Goma and like escaping with like Dende. Because like Degesu would be like from Degesu's point of view, Degesu would be the only thing that like using Dende eventually like Degesu's able to like Dende makes able to like use Dende to like create like the drawing board. Then like Degesu would be at that point getting two wishes and with that two wishes like Degesu would be totally planning on maybe making the wish to like especially control the Gigas so that like at that point even if like uh, no matter like the odds like basically at that point like Degesu will be straight away be able to like see like the next Supreme Demon Kings. This might be like possibly maybe like Degesu's plan. So like I'm also bring that way like Degesu like already having stealthily left the Doma's palace with like Dende already on a spaceship. It's like one possibility that I'm also bring. Or like the second possibility is like especially right now. Like the first girl henchwoman of Pegasus like trying to find Pegasus in like Goma's palace like because just Pegasus would be about to escape with like Dende like her firstly finding Pegasus and like her handing over like the third eye to Pegasus. So like at that point like Pegasus like totally seeing that as basically an absolute bonus for Degesu. And Degesu feeling like totally lucky at that point. And so Degesu totally not only betraying Goma by just like abducting and leaving with like Dende alone, but like Degesu also like taking like the third eye. And I'm also bring either Degesu leaving and escaping with like Dende and the third eye or like I'm remembering Degesu at that point, like on getting third eye, like Degesu to totally deciding to like use the third eye for himself at that point, and basically maybe Degesu feeling that confidence that like by possessing like the power of the third eye, maybe like Degesu possibly being able to like offer and defeat like the fighters. Maybe that's like also like a scenario of like a possibility that end of different. Maybe like the reason for Degesu even escaping would be maybe also due to like Degesu totally suspecting like the possibility of like Goma even being able to like buy enough time to like until like Goma gets the chance from the third eye and even before that the fighters only or in defeating and maybe taking the life of Goma. So that would be like a factor. So like I'm considering a bunch of possibilities. Maybe Degesu using like the third eye on himself and basically Degesu gaining the power with the third eye. And at that point, Degesu getting that absolute confidence and Degesu deciding to like uh, walk straight towards like where like the fighter would be, and Degesu being like the absolute villain with like pursuing the power of the third eye and attacking like the Z fighters and totally overpowering and defeating like the Z fighter fight Vegeta and Piccolo, and that way like the Z fighters they come out, especially with like Goku. Definitely would be poisoned, getting poisoned through the protector this time only as able to fight. This is like only one possibility that I'm also the another possibility that I'm considering is like certainly Shigesu precisely already escaping with like Dende, betraying Gomah, already escaping with like Dende from Gomah's palace, and I'm also preferring like precisely like Gomah probably calling out for Degesu and Gomah shockingly realizing once like the G fighters would be confronting Gomah, like at that point Gomah like repeatedly calling out and shouting out for like Degesu, and Gomah realizing that Degesu has betrayed Gomah, so like at that point like the Goku and still thirdly like confronting Goku being like poisoned and getting sidelined. So like Vegeta fighting up against Goma, and Vegeta would be like totally overpowering and totally defeating Goma, and like Goma would be like not even standing a chance at all against Vegeta, and I'm considering that to be like and when Goma would be like totally struggling and totally eventually being defeated by Vegeta, and at that point I'm considering would be precisely when like that precise woman with like the third eye, like the girl with the third eye, like she would be like suddenly showing up to that precise location in like Goma's palace where the sword and that fight will be taking place, and her basically casually asking Goma uh, as if like where Master Degesu is like he told me to like get this like belt like and her showing like the third eye belt. Third eye containing belt, and like basically Goma straight away like ordering that to like throw that belt over to Goma, and like some of the friends are totally throwing like the belt to Goma, and straight away like while Vegeta and like the remaining three fighters will be totally confused as to like since like they would be having absolutely no idea that really that item is actually the third eye. Either glorious belt would be like would have never seen like the third eye or would know what the third eye looks like. So like I'm considering especially Goma that throwing like that belt to Goma, and Goma basically getting the chance from that bench. So like at that point, until the putting bench would be when finally it would be like totally striking for Glorio that basically. So that might actually be like the third item that Glorio only at that point like actually properly noticing the eye living eye in that bed of Ibis deck. So at that point like Glorio shockingly realizing maybe possibly like shockingly realizing that like the third eye and like the different Glorio possibly at that point like shouting at like shouting and saying like stop Goma or telling Vegeta to like stop Goma that it's like the third eye. So like even before Vegeta would be able to like do anything like basically Goma quickly putting out like the third eye from like that belt and basically like placing it on his forehead, and Goma straight away like even though Vegeta would be attacking Goma like I'm delivering or like I'm delivering once again Vegeta getting that full or confident and wanting to like fight Goma at his like full strength while possessing the power of third eye, like kind of like a repeat of like the cell scenario where like Vegeta or confident would be getting like the step in. It's also like another possible scenario that I was looking at. Anyway, like Goma possessing the power of the third eye, and at that point it will be totally game over for the enemy fighters. Goma easily totally from that point on like the tide of like the battle between Vegeta and Goma instantly changing into like fully changing into like Goma's favor, and Goma instantly totally easily overpowering and defeating Vegeta, the Super Saiyan Vegeta, and basically and at that point would be when like maybe Vegeta would be forced to even turn Super Saiyan to like fight off against like the third eye possessing power possessing Goma, and still it would be like totally easy for Goma to like with the power of the third eye to like overpower and defeat Vegeta, and then the Goku is poisoned and sidelined, like it would be only Piccolo left that would be like trying would be there to like even do anything against Goma, but still Piccolo as well, even with like Goma easily defeating Vegeta, like Piccolo as well easily getting defeated by Goma, and like Goma totally defeating like the entire Free Fighter crew and basically imprisoning all of them. It's like the scenario that I'm only for me. And at that point, I'm considered only putting Goma. Still thinking about the third impression that like even after like possessing the power of the third, Goma would be still extremely enraged with like the Jesus for betraying Goma, and not only that, like after betraying Goma would definitely even after like getting the power of the third, like still Goma would have like more need for like the for Dende, and like the Dragon Balls, and Goma would definitely need have more desire and more goals, and that way Goma would definitely need Dende, and that way the wishes with the Dende's Dragon Ball. So I'm considering Goma deciding to basically using the third eye processing Goma, power processing Goma, setting off to precisely find Florio, as Gloria would be would have escaped and set off and made it to a faraway distance in the Muslim world with Dende on his spaceship. It's the and Goma basically chasing after and searching for settling Gloria, the eventual scenarios, which is the eventual possible multiple possibilities of a possible scenario that I'm literally putting and my person to remember. Oh yes, so the name of the rainbow distinct right now is that it wouldn't just be the team of Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Shin alone that will be getting separated from the remaining key fighters. So it's a playable grammar. Even I was preparing especially fancy as well. So decided to join with the Goku and True would also be totally getting separated. Won't be fast enough to be able to make it to what Goku through supplement and that way while Goku would be fighting Goku and would be fighting off against uh, fighting off against Goma, and then they're only putting pure 10 numbers, definitely putting fancy would definitely be neither Goma nor Degesu, none of them would be realizing that fancy is still present there in that whole palace. It's the scenario, and they're only putting fancy totally playing that major role. And I was putting Goma shortly after most likely eventually only defeating Goku and Kuro. Goma totally setting up some sort of a trap, closing some sort of a door, and basically that way separating the remaining V fighters from Goku and Prince and Goku and through, and imprisoning all the separate the remaining V fighters as well in that location as well. Just the scenario that I was thinking. But even during this entire time, I'm just reporting both Goma as well as even if Degesu doesn't betray Goma, it's even if that's the scenario still I'm referring even Goma as well as Degesu the won't be realizing the presence of fancy in between. It's definitely not considerable. So I'm putting fancy eventually becoming that ultimate key in being able to free that will be precisely eventually freeing Goku and Crow once they will be eventually getting defeated by Goma. I'm leaving more towards the positive Goma himself getting the straight away initially definitely getting the power of the third eye and and but preparing Goma most likely with the power of the third eye only for defeating Goku and Crow. It's and especially with Goku definitely also or in zone without which they Goku would be totally getting poisoned from the person that would be containing in that particular chips as well. Just name of the so eventually fancy being that ultimate key that would be eventually free Goku and Crow from the important state after being defeated by the Diabetes and Goma. The eventual scenario that I was going to bring another to them. So also right now definitely obviously I'm talking to generations that the situations far too extremely in the favor of glory as well as currency, especially much in the energy. Far too comfortable right now. To be definitely far too comfortable right now for glory to precisely not even bother prioritizing any shelter at all and basically straight away for Glorio right now to straight away attack Hybris and basically still forcefully steal Hybris with Dragon Ball and get away along with Arm told you a path to easier path right now with the group in which Glorious and only is the with the V fighters totally being separated is definitely not a dimension. And so Sydney Glorio deciding to not go with Goku and Through, which would obviously definitely be precisely because of the Hybris being part of the remaining V fighters that got split up with Goku and it's definitely not only because the Dragon Ball is the current ultimate target and through the Dragon Ball eventually Dende is the current ultimate target of Glorio as well as Arthur. Definitely, my personal impression is definitely that without much delay, definitely Gloria would be forcefully attacking Hybris and taking away taking away the second Dragon Ball as well and getting away with Armsu and at that point absolutely among the remaining three fighters it being just King Sudden and his army they wouldn't be there would be absolutely nothing they would be able to to even be able to stop neither Gloria nor Armsu. Especially since so currently also have her margin 2 as well as margin 2 as well. I'm preferring the whole betrayal and escape with the feeling of like the two Dragon Balls of the fighters being like under like the certain circumstances, being like far too extremely an easy task for like Amso and Zoro right now. So definitely my positive impression, and that too happening without much delay at all is like the scenario that I'm looking at and my positive impression. Okay, so like definitely my positive impression right now is that like basically once like the three fighter group had basically split up with like Goku and Bro like basically heading forward to like season two like Gomah's palace to like basically save Dende and fight Gomah and everything like so especially at that point like Glory my positive is that Glory was seeing like Fancy without much great hesitation even though Fancy had only seen like Goku and had only even met Goku and Bro for like the very first time after like Goku and Bro had even made into like the third demon world. Even even though like Fancy had only spent such short time with like Goku and through the fact that like Fancy without much great hesitation or delay, like Fancy deciding to like even while Fancy could have totally prioritized decisions like the battle up ahead. And Glory would be absolutely fully aware that Fancy as well would be totally aware that it will be the battle up ahead, like where like Goma and Degesu would be like totally involved, would be like extremely difficult and dangerous battle. Like still like the fact that like Fancy so like casually not casually but like without like without prioritizing her own self prioritizing her own safety like Fancy even a child like Fancy like basically like so selflessly basically and showed that absolute empathy and concern towards like Goku and through and wanting to like help Goku and through like that might have totally been like the last straw that might have totally and fully changed that made her totally change like Laura's character. Definitely not doesn't get anything. Even though initially when Laura had came to us to like precisely get like the fighters to go control to like the demon brand like at that point like definitely there might have been that strong desire and strong determined mind of like determined yet like kind of like a little of like a villain kind of mindset for like Gloria to like eventually definitely betray like the three fighters and take advantage of them and basically totally use them to precisely like use them as like a tool to like precisely stop them and everything and trick them and all that. Like that might have been what might have been initially present in like Glorious mind, the Clement of Brennan person, but like as like the Gloria had journeyed together with like throughout like the journey of like Gloria with like going through like the more time Gloria had spent with like going through and considering that whole kind of like villainous mindset to like eventually trick and betray Goku and through that might have like that villainous mindset might have like cleared up or kind of definitely my personal emotion and seeing how much of a genuine good and kind and empathetic people like Goku and through like kind hearted and genuine people Goku through that might have totally that for empathy and like genuineness and basically like kind-heartedness, like all that might have totally eventually totally rubbed off on the it's definitely not an example. Which is like a positive the process and so the reason like Glory would be even secretly aligning and teaming up with like Arun to eventually trick Goku and through can betray Goku and through like it should be all and eventually it will get sent and all that like it should be all to like eventually so that like for a good intent for Glory to definitely members in the range system right now that basically it would be like the best Indian from Glory which like through that way eventually for I think like certainly which for like the so that like through that way like people like totally get currencies to be like the sustained demon thing that way like eventually like the ultimate goal of Glory would have been totally to like the eventual freedom since like Glory is actually from like the demon world before like Arjun might have only brought Glory to like the first demon world like and then they only bring what Glory might genuinely deep down desire as if like ultimate goal would be like the freedom of like the demons in like the third demon god and like the forceful tribute and everything of like the supreme demon king that has been going on that might have been going on even during like the Boros time as well. So like the supreme demon king as well. So like basically for all that the stop and for like the third demon world demons in like the third demon world to finally get their freedom and all that like that would be like that ultimate genuine goal of like L'Oreal. So like definitely the really like even while L'Oreal might have been like the that time might have been eventually planning on the trying and tricking Goku and Bruce, still there might have been just genuine kind heartedness and genuine goodness lying within L'Oreal, which might have totally came like fully came to surface and might have precisely and fully changed L'Oreal into like totally giving up. But even when like the situation was like extremely uh favorable and advantageous to like Glory to like achieve his goal of like stealing like all three Dragon Balls and that way meeting up with like Arun. So with like the moment like the fighters through had split up like still and considering like Glory might have seen like especially on seeing like fancy how much like even at such a young age like how much like seeing like the kind-heartedness and genuine concern and empathy that fancy had towards like open through. At that point, that might have been that final straw that might have fully changed like Gloria as well, Gloria's character as well, and Gloria probably deciding to like basically for the best and basically Glory might have only at that point might have only abandoned uh his like this entire plan until that point to like basically eventually betray like the fighters and steal the Dragon Ball. Like Glory might have simply abandoned that villain's plan at that very instant when Glory decided to like go along with like to chase after Fancy and basically meet up and help out like Goku and so selflessly. It's definitely my very interesting. So this would be the precise reason for like right now Glory even helping going through basically stop Degesu definitely my coaching training. Right now, I'm considering Glory might be like definitely not planning on updating then the at all. It's definitely my considering and also like my considering impressions are like Glory and episodes might have according to the first plan might have been like initially planning on like eventually updating Dende and taking Neva's life so that like Dende could create new sets of crime balls on like the demon realm. It's definitely my secondary impression. But like I'm remembering by now, like Gloria might have totally changed to the point that maybe Gloria would be totally not even wanting to like take Neva's life either. It's definitely my secondary impression. So like Gloria might have like currently changed that much to like the side of good. It's definitely my secondary impression. So like maybe like right now Gloria even helping Goku and throughout would be like just Gloria literally helping all of them out and Gloria would be like currently only thinking about like ending the whole villainous role of Gomah, you know, and that would be the only thing in the Glorious mind. And considering like especially because like Gloria currently wouldn't be even thinking of basically taking Neva's life like to and or like abducting Dende from Goku and so like I'm considering Gloria still thinking that basically by like maybe like everything might like all the slavery of like the poor demon to like the demon world might end with like just by taking it down and breaking down and defeating Gomah alone. Might be along the lines as well that Gloria would also be thinking definitely might looking to end up with. But like my theory and pressure that like but still there might exist that like unsettling feelings within like Gloria possession because like even if like and Thomas like brought down still like neither since like neither Gloria nor Arons was like not exceptionally or part or strong like there would definitely be like the possibility of like some villainous like demon in like the future totally usually offering them and basically becoming like the next supreme demon king of like the demon realm and that way like once again like possibly like even if like the third demon world demons in like third demon world are given freedom like basically are freed like basically still them once again going back to like their slavery situation like would be like maybe also that fear that might lie within the Presley Gloria. It's also definitely my consideration. And as for like the secret deal between Gloria and Arun, so definitely it might have been a deal precisely based on that two absolute goals that both Arun as well as Gloria might have definitely had. For Gloria, it might have been the freedom of like the dreams to like 13, but even though Arun as well, since like Arun, I think like was like the third person that had created like the chorus that of like the slavery of the dream to like the demon world as well. Considering maybe Arms as well generally might be like deep down good and basically Arms as well might want to like be able to like undo that and free like the demon to like the demon world. So to like demon considering as well. So but like even more than that for Arms, so like our main ultimate goal would be like precisely to restore like the glint race or like to create just let the Dragon Balls like be able to like wish for more glint race or like restore back the lost spice glint race might have been like so this might be like a deal like the secret plan and alliance and a deal between like L'Oreal and Aranzu might have been a deal based on like both of them being able to like achieve like their goal through this deal. With like Aranzu being wanting to like get back her to increase and basically L'Oreal being able to like restore like the freedom of the greens and the being but and considering through a mutual agreement like they might have agreed to like eventually make Aransu like the next supreme demon king once like Gomah brought down. Might have been their plan, but like I'm considering and according to their plan, like in order to like prevent like eventually like even if so basically since like neither Aransu nor Glorious like wouldn't be like so exceptionally strong or anything like according to their plan, like the first reason for like them desperately needing like the Dragon Balls as well might have been precisely because of like them maybe through the Dragon Balls planning to like control the Gigas. That's like one possibility, or like them through like the Dragon Balls like wanting to like wish for like third eye and for like Gloria to like give the third eye to Aransu so that like maybe either Aransu by possessing the third eye herself, or like Aransu planning on giving like the third eye to like Majin to basically either one of these two through this scenario, like Antu being able to be so extremely powerful that basically Antu would be able to like stay as like the supreme demon king without having like any sort of villain demons in like the demon realm, like actually being able to like stop or defeat or bring down Antu. And this might have been their plan. So like I'm considering that Dragon Ball like this strategy, like I'm considering maybe right now Gloria would be giving up on that. It's definitely my Syrian version just would be like only hoping for the best. But like I'm considering by precisely helping Goku through basically get Dende and basically all that. Like I'm considering right now Gloria would be the only thing in Gloria's mind would be to like precisely help Goku and the V fighters like totally defeat Gomah. That would be like the Glory would be like only wanting like Gomah like road to like stop. That would be like currently like the change Glory or good. The only thing that would be present in his mind right now is definitely not the same reason. But like I'm considering eventually for like this exact selfless act of Glory to like in time to like precisely eventually reward Glory. So example, they're only things eventually I'm considering like the final scenario that I'm considering is like finally by the time that Goku and Goku and the sea fighters would be like basically leaving like the demon reality. Just like Goma being brought down and everything eventually. At that point, I was preparing it to not be like Aransu that eventually will be ending up as like the next supreme demon king after Goma. But like I'm was preparing to be finally to be precisely Florio that and the only thing. Like I'm was preparing even Aransu like having eventually changing and basically eventually like aren't so totally letting giving like the third eye finally like the third eye item like eventually falling into like Aransu and Glorio's hands and basically at that point like Glorio being absolutely willing to like give the third eye item to like Aransu and yet like I'm preparing Aransu totally telling Glorio that he deserves it more than her basically that way Glorio using the third eye and Glorio gaining the power of the third eye and like Glorio being that absolute next supreme demon king after like Goma, but like the uh, Glorio being like such a good and kind and empathetic like supreme demon king of like the demon reality, like the eventual scenario that I'm just only and my positive emotion. And definitely by then like I'm just Glorio only confessing about like it's like plans like eventually betray and things like the fighters and everything. And I'm just Goku and through like only for game Glorio. And I'm just like Goku and through like figuring out like a way to like precisely simple thing like neither of them want to like take Neva's life in order to like basically use Sunday to like and then by then would be getting back his memories. So like still getting back then by then definitely would be getting his like ability to like speak and all that. So but still even then I'm only nothing to the fighters totally neither one of them would want to like take Neva's life it's like the scenario that I'm putting. So uh, in order to just only use be able to like use 10 days to like basically in order for them to be able to like use 10 days like a Dragon Ball in like Redeem Real to like wish to be able to like wish to basically restore the glint race and all that. So but still I'm considering the scenario eventual final scenario would be most likely I'm considering that most likely never using his like mysterious powers like never basically destroying like the Samagami Dragon Ball with like the scenario that I'm considering. Right now I'm considering never to totally survive until like the variant and never basically at that point like being like bringing that ultimate twist with like never destroying the Tamagami Dragon Ball that he himself created. And basically that way, like Dende being able to like create like seven Dragon Balls of like up and basically that way like using those Dragon Balls like and those different like, aren't so totally wishing making that wish to basically restore back the killing trace or like in those different like aren't so or like Shin basically wishing to Arthur was likely wishing to like fill like the entire of the demon realm with like a great number of different things. That's like the other possible final scenarios that I was only putting and like even it would be after like open through like allowing like Arthur and Gloria to like make that wish and basically with like Gloria as like the supreme Demon King and was referring like Lord straight away. The very first order that he would be making would be like the freedom of like the demon, like the demon world. And then like after witnessing all this, like basically only would be after witnessing all this that like the fighters will even be leaving like the demon realm with like Dende after saying goodbye to like Lord and Arzu and like the entire with the demon like the demon realm. That the movement pro would have made friendship out of it. Like the initial final scenario that Ambassador or Lepranga person they were okay, so like that's the person very impression right now as well. Like I think that it's army like probably that taking away a tired of the games and the difference would be mostly to like in person like in person the games was definitely my person since like in Kadan and his army would be totally thinking that they will be like a real soon once like Gomah would be brought down like precisely King it would be King Kadan that would be like the next supreme demon king. So like since like King Kadan and his like army would be totally having such an expectation and also I think like it might have been precisely through King Kadan orders to like exactly in person Degesu in like the person in like King Kadan would be already like totally assuming or like totally that feeling as if it's like he's like the king the as if he's like the next king of like the 15th or the next supreme demon king of like the demon realm. And that would be like the first reason for like King Kadan while having such a feeling like basically already ordering like Degesu to be like in person in like the in like the person in like the third demon world. It's definitely my personal and that might be the precise reason for like so like my personal impressions are like that would be like the precise sole reason for it being precisely King Kadan's like army precisely being like the precise people to precisely like tie up and take away precisely Degesu. It's definitely my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression right now is that like Gomah also finally got things like the power of things that I understand like not only Gomah to like without much delay like totally offer and keep the fight and offer and defeat. It's like Gomah the moment Gomah will be gaining like a lot of the third I like essentially like I'm the Gomah should only most likely have like an absolute character change. It's like Gomah going from an absolutely scared person to like an absolutely extremely fearless and confident person right on so the precise moment that Goma will be possessing like the power of it, but it's definitely within the dimension. So like I'm considering Goma and like totally offer fighting like Street Fighters totally offering and defeating like the Street Fighters without much hassle for Goma. And I'm looking at only running Goku by then precisely especially when Goma would be showing up to protect the by pursuing the power of the right, definitely the effect of like the poison protector and the protector is like I'm looking at only bring up the thing Goku not being able to like fight it down. And basically, once they would all be like offered and defeated by a single third eye path processing Goma that I'm considering at that point, precisely like Goma would only even forgive Degesu also like the scenario that happened there. Goma totally forgiving Degesu for betraying Goma and like Goma totally free Degesu and basically once again Degesu only being like Thomas like command, but like still deep down Degesu which is still looking would there be absolutely no change in Degesu and Degesu still would be like looking for even while once again being like the commander of Goma, like Degesu would be still patiently waiting for like a that perfect opening or like an opportunity to like basically steal and take away like the third eye from Goma and for Degesu to like make it his own and basically for him to like basically that way be able to like roll over the game realm as like the separate engine is definitely my person realm. So like I'm the right now, even though Goma is like the first person to possess like currently possess like the power of like that I am separating eventually Goma eventually I'm separating like Nigga so still eventually at like at like after a while like I'm separating Nigga so still even while Goma would be like after a while like I'm separating Nigga so eventually totally once again like betraying the poor Goma and basically like Degesu stealing like the third eye from Goma and basically Degesu pursuing like the third eye for the third eye. Like the eventual final scenario that I'm looking for. So finally it will be Degesu that will be like the final ultimate villain. It's definitely and not Goma, it's definitely my personal impression. So that is like the final scenario that I'm listening to. And once like this would be over all over and like once like Goma as well as Degesu will be like totally defeated. And I was preferring neither of them to like die, but like both Goma as well as Degesu on being defeated, getting imprisoned in like the third demon world, like the eventual final scenario that I'm preferring. And at that point, I'm preferring like King Kadan would be so extremely overjoyed and excited to be like the next supreme demon king. But like that would be like the first point where I'm only preferring for like a twist with like And by then, like after the thing, like both Glorio as well as Ansu like showing up and basically like confessing that basically all the two of them like confessing about like their initial plan to like basically trick Goku and through and all that like basically they're confessing and everything is like the scenario that I'm considering. So like I'm considering towards the very end like once like King Card with like Gomah and Degesu defeated like King Card being like so extremely happy and overjoyed and excited as like he basically that like he's going to be like the next Supreme Demon King and those different maybe for Biden for RXO as well, totally letting slide solely due to like most likely like Goku Biden like totally allowing RXO to like make a wish through Dende. And I'm still thinking about the situation that like Neva would be like also not dying, but Neva would be like destroying his own creation of Picture Tamagan and what Dende creating his seven Dragon Balls and basically through the wish like of through that Dragon Balls like Dende would be creating those Dragon Balls in like the Dream Realm and through that wish like under the rings absolutely getting her ultimate wish of like basically restoring back or like creating a lot of like entries in like the demon realm. And basically at that point Arzu might not even care, like maybe might not even care like for as for like Incarnate possibly being like the next Supreme Demon King is also like a possible scenario. But among like the multiple possibilities is also one of the possibilities that I'm considering. And I'm considering while King Karan will be totally excited to be like the next Supreme Demon King. At that point I'm lifting the this could happen with like fancy totally interrupting and basically fancy totally like with like a serious face like being Tinker and stuff like fancy and consider totally putting fancy totally with like a serious face like telling Tinker that like no that that actually glorious more qualified than Tinker to be like the next supreme demon king and that way like I'm supposed to putting like a wholesome like ending with like basically like solely due to like Fancy's interference and everybody all the remaining key fighters like totally agreeing with Fancy like eventually Glorious being chosen to be like the next supreme demon king of like the demon realm. Just like the eventual final scenario that I'm totally of like one possibility that I'm totally only putting in my personal direction. Okay, so like definitely notice the impression right now as for like Gloria totally lying to like went through and basically him wanting like went through like quite Samagami one and turn back into like the wrong usage. Definitely my personal impression was that it was mainly have to do with like the fear within Gloria. And first of all my personal impression was like the reasons that Gloria is totally lying to like even now to like went through. The personal thing that Gloria has definitely not turned into like the science or anything. Definitely Gloria is still totally sticking to like a super secret plan with like Arun to like eventually rotator can betray the Z fighters. It's definitely obviously my percentage emergence of right now. So like I'm also running glorious fear, current fear would be precisely that since like Goku and crew are right now at Gomah Palace. And so since like Gomah right under their nose, like I'm preferring if Goku and crew were like right now fight up against Gomah, like Glorio by now after witnessing Goku and crew's like power, like Glorio might be like only kind of like almost certain that basically Goku and crew were like right now fight up against Gomah that they will be like totally like easily be able to like totally or and defeat Gomah. That might be like one thing that Glorio might be like currently thinking is definitely my personal emergency. So like if Goku and True were to like right now fight and defeat Goma, then like I'm considering the fear within Glorio would be that basically at that point like the possibility that like Goku and True not even bothering to like even fight that to even to look for like or to even fight like the first Tamagami one of it the first demon god and instead like basically Goku on defeating the ultimate villain Goma as well as like Goku that way like the scenario is Goku and Pro defeating like the ultimate villain Goma and Glory would be only even like the person is only unaware of Goma having purpose like the power to the right. So the definitely my consideration. So from Goku's Glory's current point of view, like Glory is the only thing that is open through like right now fight up against Goma, then Goma would be like quickly defeated by Goku and Throw. Would be what Glory would be thinking. So like if that happens, then Goku and Throw possibly deciding instead to like not even bother fighting like the first Kamigami, but like instead to like straight away with them having Tende as well. Like basically them possibly deciding to like straight away head back to basically have Tende like from Earth, like create like the Dragon Balls of Earth and that way return back to their normal shape. Basically, Goku and Koo like just singing along such lines and that way like if that happens, then like Goku and Koo will be straight away leaving like the Demon Realm especially after defeating Goma. As soon as they will be defeating Goma. So like that will be totally like going in that the opposite direction and that things will be happening totally contrary at that point. to what Glorio wants and to like Glorio and Arun to go. So like this might be the precise reason for like Glorio most likely even telling Goku and Kuro and lying and telling Goku and Kuro to like head off to the Tamagami 1 and fight the Tamagami Gun. So like my consider impressions are like back when like Goku and Kuro had basically split up within like Gomah Palace. Like at that point even Glory having like a brief hesitation because following like fancy after like Goku and Kuro like basically it might have been precisely like that hesitancy might have been precisely Glorio like trying to come to a decision to like basically should he solely focus on just stealing like the Dragon Ball that's like the type alone like or should he like prioritize on like uh and try to like get away with just the three with just the two Dragon Ball Tamagami Dragon Balls or should he like also put himself at the take that risk and basically try to like outsmart like the Z fighters and trick the Z fighters and try to like get away with like both the two Tamagami Dragon Balls like stealing both the two Tamagami Dragon Balls as well as like Dende as well. This might have been like what Florio might have had that hesitancy in come to a decision with definitely my person remember. So like definitely my person remembers that like Florio even helping Goku and Bro out in like stopping Degesu as well as like that way saving Dende and all that might have been solely due to like Florio totally wanting Dende as well, along with like the Dragon Ball as well. It's definitely my personal impression. Along with the Dragon Ball as well, definitely my personal impression. So my personal impression that like so definitely according to like Glory and so like, definitely my personal impression that like Glory as well as Arun so like ultimate two codes would be definitely the precise like third eye as well as like the restoration of like the Glimmer definitely my personal impression. So to achieve these two things wouldn't be possible just with like the three Tamagami triangles which can only grant a single wish. So that might be the reason for like the relevance of Dende for like Glorio as well as like Arunchu. Definitely my consideration. And they would like as for like Glorio and Arunchu, like they would like want to make the wish to like the Tamagami triangles as soon as possible and quickly get their hands on like the third eye. So that way, like either Arunchu might want to possess like the power of the third eye, or like Arunchu might be planning on giving like the power of the third eye to precisely margin to especially members in the that way like that way Arunchu would be like only having that concept that straight away she would be able to like get to the position of the supreme demon thing with like and that way straight away Arunchu would be like the strongest in like that is in the demon realm, even stronger than the Z fighters and the Goku and the Z fighting. I'd be like what Arunchu and Glory would be thinking. So like at that point, like they would be like having that for ultimate power in their hands to like basically even throw force to be able to like up that and keep Dende in the focus until Dende grows up and basically is able to like create like the Dragon Balls of Earth in like the Demon Realm basically so that like at that point like they will be like both Aruncho and Glory planning on taking Nevas like to make Dende create those Dragon Balls. It's definitely my personal ambition. And then for them to like make the wish of like basically restoring back all the game England trade is definitely my personal revelation. Just might be like Arthur and Glory plan is definitely my personal revelation. So exactly because this would be like personally putting it would be their plan like personally putting like both like this like the location of where like the first Tamagami yard would be like the precise that whole ultimate location that's like precisely where like precisely all sorts of traps would be set precisely by Arunzo as well as like Arunzo as well as Glory precisely set for like the inviters precisely as they will be like landing on that precise location. Definitely my consideration. Precise and well thought out trap set for like the inviters so that and like precisely margin two as well as the margin two as well to be part of that trap set for like the inviters to precisely that way like through that trap to precisely trick the inviters and basically simultaneously like steal the two Kamigami Dragon Balls of like the three pieces and basically for like Gloria to steal those two Kamigami Dragon Balls and like escape with like Dende along with like Arunsu at that point. It would be like the plan of like Dende to be like the plan of like Gloria as well as like Arunsu. Definitely my personal opinion. And this might be like the precise reason for like the precise reason being like the would be like the precise reason for like Gloria right now, even right now wanting like the big fighters to like head off to like the Samagami one location when Glory would be well and fully aware by now that it really like the Aruto has like the has defeated like the the Dragon Ball of like the Tamagami one of like the Pokemon world is definitely my consideration. So definitely so like my theory impressions that like according to like the very initial plan of like Glorious, but that aren't so like about the according to their initial plan, they might have only extremely underestimated like Goku and the Chrome and open the V fighters like after to like basically them after being up when tiny by Goma like them not being strong enough. Them not being like them only being strong enough to be like a part of like the army that would be like eventually bringing down Goma might have been what like Aruntu and Gloria might have got. So like I'm preferring like with the according to like previous plan of Aruntu and Gloria, like Aruntu might have totally they might have been totally planning on creating like the ultimate margin creation and basically use that creation for them to like basically take on and defeat all three Tamagami stars and get all three Dragon Ball would be like especially might have been like Gloria and Aruntu's like initial strategy and initial plan. Definitely my question. So they might have not protected Goku and the V fighters to be like all that stronger and things like that. They might have only like thought of like basically uh, even because like I'm considering like even though like Ansu might have been attempting to like create this ultimate margin creation using this like she would be able to like, take down all three Tamagami Dragon Balls like still even then like since like Goma having like just, like uh, Goma having like as like the Supreme Demon King having like huge army of like the entirety of like the huge army of like the Gandalf Marines as well as like the Gandalf Marine Special Force as well as Degesu as well by Goma's side like and precisely because of this collective army and force of Goma might be the reason for like Arunsu as well as Arunsu as well as Goro even bothering to like bring Goku to the demon realm. Definitely my personal theory and reason. So just be part of like Arunsu and Glorious like army along with like King Kadan as well. And that which like Arunsu and Gloria might have thought which would be the collectively what would be required for them to even be able to like bring down Goma. Like even with their margin to creation as well as like on top of that like Aruntu and Gore might have also planned on basically by the time like Goku and Crow would be like making it to like the first demon world for like Aruntu and Glorio to be able to like get even like the third eye item and through like Aruntu's like margin creation defeating all the three Tamagamis and basically like Aruntu like give either using the third eye item on herself or like giving the third eye item to her margin creation and Aruntu controlling that margin creation and that way with all the collective strength like only the would be how they would be like even be able to like defeat Goma and the entire army might have been what initially Aruntu as well as Gloria might have thought certainly my person so like for that initial strategy of Arjun and Lore might have really changed. Like the moment Goku might have like supposedly fought and defeated like the first Tamagami. That is certainly my person to remember. So like at that point I was thinking Lore might have secretly phoned and told Arjun and updated Arjun about like the situation. So like at that point Arjun might have only uh, expected like the possibility of like Goku even defeating like the second Omega, eventually possibly defeating like the second Omega as well, which is definitely my personal memory. So like since then might have been when after precisely Goku defeating like the first Omega might have been when from like the third demon world might have been when like the plan might have shifted between like Aransu and Glorio and basically their plan might have shifted to like a Dragon Ball Tamagami Dragon Ball stealing plan. It's definitely my personal memory. So like I'm particular then they might have only been like secretly and stealthily might have like strategized out like and might have decided on setting up this ultimate trap for like the V fighters eventually as they will be making it to like the location of like the first Tamagami garden. And that would be precisely where like Gloria will be currently trying to take Goku in like the person will be trying to take Goku and the Z fighters into like that precise location of like the first Omega to get Goku and Pro to like fall into that trap and that trap would be like an extremely like serious level traps that name of the involving all sorts of like a unique kind of like magical powers like the thing. Definitely like that would be like the kind of like a trap that like Aramco and Gloria might have set up in like that size Tamagami one like the first demon world location for like Goku and to be fighters definitely my person but like even before like Aramco and Gloria would be able to like proceed with that trap strategy their trap strategy like even before that like I'm thing like right now itself like for Goma to totally show up with like the power of like the third eyes and basically Goma totally destroying all plans of like Aransu and Glorio and basically the three fighters definitely most likely being like getting imprisoned by Gomah and Glorio totally. I mean, like Gomah totally like forgiving Degesu and Gomah freeing Degesu, like the scenario that I'm picturing. And like, but like as for like Goku and like the three fighters and Glorio, them all understood only pertaining to be like getting certainly getting imprisoned by Gomah. It's like the scenario that I'm picturing. And I'm picturing maybe for like Fancy alone being able to like stealthily being able to like escape like Gomah's like captivity is also like a possibly limited scenario that I'm also debating right now in my person to the yeah, so like actually my person to the right now with like kind of with like Arvind like finally showing up in front of like Goku and Crew like I'm just right now there would definitely be like not to precisely get like the two Dragon Ball from like the Street Fighters for like Aruntu and Glorious like the villain plan like so the right now there would be definitely two strategies and two methods. One would be like the straightforward method, which would be basically for this like Aruntu would be like totally planning on like using her margin tool right now. Aruntu right now totally challenge telling Goku and to keep it that basically if you want like the final Samadami Dragon Ball, that's in my position. Like you will have to like defeat my margin to it. It's definitely my position. So like but like if you lose to margin to then you would have to like surrender your choose Dragon Ball. So like that way like that kind of like a deal that my Arundu as well as like for according to like Arundu as well as Glorious like secret plan like that might be like the first strategy that they will be using. So definitely my position. So and Argus as well as L'Oreal like would be extremely overconfident, thinking that they will definitely like definitely without a doubt like definitely Margin 2 would be like overpowering and defeating those two. So like so basically because of that like I'm supporting they would definitely be like having also like a backup strategy and that would be like most likely the trap strategy and that's like my opinion is that I'm pretty sure that like according to like Arzo and L'Oreal like take a plan like they might be thinking that in the case and in the scenario like Goku defeats like Margin though then to like still prevent like from like the V fighters getting that their Dragon Ball and also to like ensure that Arunzo and Goro gets all three Dragon Balls of Goku and through like basically uh, uh, for that, like at that point, like I'm considering Arunzo and Gloria might be planning on like activating some sort of like a trap that they might have well strategized and prepared in that Tamagami location. Definitely, that's being set up precisely for movement. So it's certainly my person to camera. So like just like the scenario that I'm considering all the things. So like I'm considering right now, I'm considering only putting since Gomah haven't like made it so far to the location of Goku and Crew. Like I'm considering right now definitely for the fight that only happened between like Goku versus Majin 2. In this I'm totally putting yeah, initially for Goku to totally struggle against Majin 2, but like eventually Goku totally overpowering and defeating Majin 2. So like as for the deal, I'm considering Goku totally asking Aransu to like precisely hand over like the Dragon Ball, the first Dragon Ball. So the final Dragon Ball. So like I'm considering maybe at that point I'm considering like and I'm considering like maybe at that point like Aransu according to like the back and I'm considering like maybe like the backup strategy of Arjun Gorio being like protected, especially since like even like the previous Tamagami one as well as two had like their second challenge. Uh, the previous Tamagami third as well as second Demon Worlds had like their second challenge after like the decreasing the Tamagamis of like the shuffling of like the uh, shuffling and all sorts of like confusing puzzle like challenge like I'm considering maybe in a similar fashion like maybe Anto and Gloria might have strategized like another second challenge as well. It's also like the other possible that I'm looking at. Even if like under the scenario that Goku even defeats like Majin Do, then like as for like second challenge, like as for like the puzzle like challenge, like precisely that might be like it might be precisely for that challenge to through that challenge to like basically use their next attempts at freaking Goku and through would be precisely through the precise fake Dragon Ball that precisely Aruntu would have only created uh, and about the running like also like keeping like her Dragon Ball along with like two fake Dragon Balls that she would have created and like her two might be planning on like shuffling those three Dragon Balls and they really like or like it wouldn't just be like two fake Dragon Balls alone like I'm just bringing like two think the real Dragon Ball among like multiple great number of Dragon Balls and about maybe like Naruto alone might have like the unique power to like specifically detect like the actual original Dragon Ball among those fake Dragon Ball and so like that way to like specifically trick Goku and through into like basically failing in that second challenge and that way to like specifically get the two Dragon Balls that Goku and through might be like the plan of like Naruto and Warriors like the other possibility that and those type of things. So anyway, regardless and consider all different things. So like anyway, regardless and consider all different things, Goku and Kuro to like Goku to like precisely win both challenges and basically that's totally shocking both Glory as well as Naruto, like the scenario that I'm delivering. And so like at that point, I'm also putting Goku totally asking for that final Dragon Ball from Naruto. At that point, with like Goku having one or two challenges. So like at that point, I'm progressively hitting like hardcore totally like disagreeing to give back that Dragon Ball. And I'm progressively like at that point Goku being like totally confused. And right then would be when I'm progressively like the third eye Pacific Gomah would be like only at that moment would be like showing up with like the scenario that I'm looking at. So like the third eye Gomah and progressively along with Degesu totally overpowering and different like the third eye power of Gomah being like so screen that I'm different Goma with like the solely due to like the power of the third eye and delivering Goma still being able to like only all four and defeat all of them and they release all of them getting importantly, including Arunchu as well as like Glorio as well as like the Sea Fighters as well as Majin Doors and Majin Buu like everyone getting important like except for like Fancy alone everybody else getting like important of like the scenario that I'm delivering and solely due to like Fancy like I'm delivering eventually them all getting free it's definitely it's a scenario that I'm considered all the copying and methods in the direction. So like I'm delivering while they would be like interested by the third eye position Goma at that point I'm delivering Goma not only getting Dende but also getting like the three Tamagami Dragon Balls as well. It's like the eventual scenario that I'm delivering and my position to the end of it. Okay, so like definitely the positive interaction right now is that like the even more likely possibility is that like the precise Dragon Ball, single Dragon Ball that like Majin Buu is holding. It's basically that which are also claims with like actual Dragon Ball, like basically that would definitely be a fake Dragon Ball. So like to create that whole scenario in which like definitely like the two Dragon Balls but like go to and so will be ending up in the hands of Arunzo and Gloria. To ensure that will be precisely Arunzo might have precisely created a fake Dragon Ball and precisely thought out this precise strategy so that like those different like Arunzo will be and Gloria will be the only thing according to that strategy they will be the only thing that even if like Goku even defeat like Majin to like basically still in like the challenge to Goku would be totally losing to like Goku would be totally losing to Arunzo Arjo and Margin is precisely because like in the challenge too, like it's a precise Dragon Ball that like Arunzo that I'm bring Arunzo along with like that single Dragon Ball which would be a fake Dragon Ball Arunzo and bring a bunch of other fake Dragon Ball and claiming that like that single Dragon Ball is like the actual Dragon Ball and then Arunzo as part of that challenge to like shuffling all those Dragon Balls so that like Arunzo would be like totally confident that basically Goku regardless of which Dragon Ball that Goku would be selecting like and the test would be to like find the real Dragon Ball. So like regard Ansu and Blue will totally and absolutely confident that regardless of which Dragon Ball that Goku picks, like it would definitely be a fake Dragon Ball. So like I'm going to bring Goku totally picking one of like the Dragon Ball in that challenge too. And basically Aruncho revealing that telling that it's fake. So like I'm totally bring like at that point would be when I'm perfectly putting most likely never to like enter into the scene and basically and never totally interrupting and since like never was like the first person who created the Tamagami framework and was totally never totally like at that point only and never patiently waiting until that point to like basically make that ultimate twist of a reveal to like that will be crushing all the plans of like Glorio as well as Arun so that basically never straight away are revealing to the Goku and others that like these people are trying to like trick you, are tricking you, like they're trying to trick you precisely because like all those like Dragon Balls that Arun were shuffling were all fake Dragon Balls. Like basically that way, like never finally getting, never basically like getting like the spotlight take the spotlight. That's very last second, like the scenario that I'm looking at. That way, like the whole trick and strategy between like Hunt and Zoro, yeah, being like totally blown. And basically, that would be when I'm personally putting top Soma most likely with the power of the third eye to like show up to that location. Like the winter scenario that I'm just delivering and looking to understand. And so like continuing the regulations were like that would be definitely the reason for like lower currently in like the percent like totally being shocked and absolutely sweating on seeing like precisely that precise Dragon Ball that like margin to holding the name and the moving. So like even though it's like a pre-planned, it might have been definitely feel it definitely would be like a pre-planned strategy between like Aranku and Gloria that would be like right now taking place. And but still like Gloria might have never expected like Aranku to be able to like create like a fake Dragon Ball that looks absolutely identical to like the original Tamagami Dragon Ball. So like this might be the first reason for like Gloria staying in that absolute shock and like the seeing like the fake Dragon Balls that Majin 2 is holding is definitely my considering. Okay, so like definitely my considering impression right now with like Gomah totally struggling to like get like the third eye out of like cyber spell. Definitely I'm considering this whole frantic frantic repeated attempts of like from Gomah to like get the third eye. I'm considering that to like totally be the perfect fact of that would be like totally buying enough more than enough time for like Goku to like have a like fight against like Majin 2 to have the complete fight against like Majin 2 and for Goku to like even have time to like even attempt like the second challenge, which about your everything would be definitely be present. Uh, and like about the it's taking a lot of time for like Goma to like totally figure it out. But my particular impression is like most likely as to like how exactly considering like Goma trying all sorts of method to like get the third eye out of like a high belt, but it's all failing and considering eventually Goma totally being absolutely fed up and considering Goma totally banging his like head forehead onto like that right third eye on high belt. And at that point that would be like the safety as to like how to get the possess like the power of like the get the third eye and possess the power of like third eye. And that would be how like Goma would be precisely possessing like the power of the third eye finally. It's like definitely like the eventual scenario that I'm possibly going to bring in a person to remember. Okay, so like definitely that's very embarrassing right now as for like Goma wanting like the demon here, hence Goma to precisely place like the third eye on Goma's block and like definitely my very embarrassing that might have to do with like either of two possibilities. Like one possibility maybe like Goma totally being so excited and happy with like finally getting a chance to like the third eye that like he might have want to like make it into like a moment with like into like a great moment for like what Goma would be thinking by basically like having like that demon girls that basically like plays like the third eye on the pocket. That might be like the total reason for like Goma wanting like that demon henchman woman like to place the third eye on Goma's forehead. It's only one possibility that I'm referring. The second possibility is certainly maybe in order for like a person to possess like the power of the third eye, maybe another person should place that third eye on that person's like forehead. Like that person, like the person who wants to possess like the power of the third eye, that person himself like basically placing it on his forehead might not grant that person like the power of the third eye. Maybe that being like the reason for like Goma seeking the help of like that training head woman to precisely place the third eye on Goma's forehead. It's like this should be either one of these two possibilities definitely not in the range. So like definitely my consider impression right now is definitely for not Roma, but like accidentally for that the test demon hedge woman to like gain the power of like the third eye right now. It's like accidentally right now it's definitely the scenario that I'm considering. So like I'm also like Roma telling her to precisely like she would be totally disturbed at Roma and basically like I'm considering Roma telling her and showing her how to like raise the third eye and Roma's forehead and then considering her being like totally and absolutely confused and asking Goma if like should I place it like this and basically like placing like the showing that action and placing that her basically asking Goma if she's doing it right the right way and basically her placing the third eye on her forehead and basically instantly her gaining like the power of the third eye. That's like one person that I'm considering or like I'm considering her basically like Goma basically totally accidentally like totally like showing her that like you have to do it like this and basically like Goma placing the third eye accidentally on that girl like the demon girl's like forehead and basically that way accidentally Goma granting her like the power of the third eye and the either to one of these two scenarios like I'm considering her to totally gain like the power of the third eye right now and it's like the scenario that I'm considering right now in my personal interest.